Oh, that's gonna be your little personal shopping bag, okay?
Yeah, like I said, some color at the N&R.
So apparently in New York City, they're saying people lined up for free groceries. Poly markets pop up open today, and 400 plus people were waiting, some as early as 6:30 in the morning. This is what the economy is fine looks like. We just went through 4 years of a senile old man and a cackling alcoholic that were Democrats left in charge. And the only thing they were focused on was death, abortion, vaccinations, and basically that's it. There was no other net positive. And they want to say, oh, well, now that this other guy's been in office for a year, we're expecting more results, but you didn't expect anything from them. Let me just break it down like this. There will always be an underclass, unfortunately, in the United States. What I mean is that there are always, because of how our system is set up, there's always going to be people who can scam the rest of us to create their perfect little communist utopia. Meaning the way our tax dollars are allocated from people who work, they use shame and they use your heartstrings to create these programs so that people who vote Democrat can pretend that they're in their communist utopia where food is free, housing is free, and they don't have to pay for anything, no responsibilities, they don't got to work, and we just keep giving them money. It's completely anti-American. The to be American is to want freedom. But there's no way you can have freedom if you're also dependent. Freedom means you are independent. If you're begging for free groceries, free housing, free anything from the state, well, you're a statist, you're a slave. You're not actually free. You don't believe in freedom. It doesn't matter when you open up something for free, under which administration, there will always be people who want free stuff. Now, I'm for discounts. If you want to give people a price break, that means they still have to put some skin in the game. They have to come to the table. That means they do have to earn from somewhere. But when you completely enable people because of their race or because they say the words Jim Crow or racism or slavery, and you tell them, you know what, you get to live for free, or because they're an illegal alien and they tell you we're going to vote for you if you give us these entitlement programs, Medicaid, cash, EBT for food, government assistance, Section 8 housing, and we'll vote for you. But they don't have to pay anything. Why would they go out and work? And the way is they keep our two communities divided so that we who are paying into the system via our taxes and our labor, we're never none the wiser, and we don't figure out that these other people are literally living off us like dependents. So in a way, we're their slaves. See, whenever you're exploiting someone else's labor for your financial benefit, that person being exploited is your slave. We are working for them. This food is not going to be free. They are going to get a government subsidy to pay it back when they open up these free grocery stores, when they do Section 8 housing, when they give away EBT. It's never free. It comes from us. There will always be a class of dependents until we change the system in this country. No other countries that I can think of. Well, in Europe, we have entitlement programs. We had them in Germany. You get a housing stipend, food stipend. So people from all over the world are flooding into Europe and they're just getting free everything. I mean, it made sense for a little while because some of these European countries, especially in Scandinavia, were at a negative birth rate. So they're importing all these people from Africa, the Middle East, so that they can keep their society going. But of these people that are being imported, yeah, they're warm bodies in the system, but are they working? Are you taxing them 80, 90% of their income so you can afford all the social programs for the rest of them? Well, then your country is going to go into a recession. It's going to go bankrupt. You're not going to be able to maintain this level of entitlements. Here in the United States, when you see that they're just giving away free stuff to certain people, whether you be illegals, whether you be blacks, whether you be gays, trans, anything excuse you come up with to say that you have a disability that you were born with because you were born gay or you were born black, so you deserve free stuff. Well, it's not really free. It comes from me, but I have no say so over your life. So that's a problem. You're a dependent, but you're a renegade. You're not even trying to better yourself and pay into the system. You're just a leech. When I understand that, and then they tell me that they spiked these vaccines in these areas and they're trying their best to get rid of these people. You read the Epstein files, and I told you the vaccine came from Epstein's research. I'm starting to I understand completely why they did the math and they said globally, if we remove a certain group of people, we can save the global economy 40 to 50% a year, because how much do we pay out in benefits to help this one particular group that has never been helped successfully in human history? There's never been an amount of help that has ever helped them. They're always going to be there until something changes. The vaccine is helping, but it's not a guaranteed fix. Yeah, there's nothing. There's no way out. There will always be people who want free stuff. There are people right now that will look at someone like me and say, "You're privileged." I am. I'm an American. I'm in the United States. It doesn't get much better than this. But even though they're also in the United States and they, have all the same access as me, they feel that I have an advantage over them for some odd reason. But whatever the excuse is, they want me to take care of them. Grown men, grown women, adults, and they want to live in a communist world. They vote for communist politicians. They vote for communist, Marxist, Democrats. And because those are the people who give them all their free benefits and their free stuff. And we are, as capitalists, as people who work, we're expected to pay for it. The tax structure has to change because apparently we have too much money. Not only are we supporting communist utopias all over the country, but we're sending money for bullshit all over the world. That means they're taxing us way too much. I thought we couldn't afford it. Apparently we can afford anything. So that just means we're being taken, we're being ripped off, but there are always going to be people who want to scam you. There are always going to be people who want to prey on you. There are always going to be people that feel like they should be entitled to your wealth and the results of your hard work. We've been fighting communism this entire time. Some people don't understand when we say why we hate communists. Being that my family's from Cuba, there's a specific disdain that we have for people with communist views and communists in general, because we see where it leads. Here in the United States, they're pretending that we can balance it out. They can have a communism/capitalist. No. You have one group scamming the other group. And they use shame to stop you from questioning it. And we just, that's not sustainable. We're not going to be able to continue that for much longer. No matter what, when you're offering free stuff, people are going to take it. You're enabling them. They're never going to get better. Let some of these people go hungry. Let some of them starve. And then they'll find another country to go rip off, and we can go back to being Americans. To be an American means you have to be America first. You have to be Americans first. But if you're letting some Americans or people that are illegal scam actual Americans who believe in freedom, who work and take care of themselves, well, then you're not going to have a balance, and someone's going to be upset. And I'm upset. I'm one of those people that I feel like we're being ripped off, and it's not fair. And long term, this is not going to be sustainable. We have to take care of ourselves. That's the responsibility that comes with freedom. Not the state takes care of us, not the government, but yourself. That's what freedom is. It's self-sufficient. If you wanted to be a slave, why did you cry and why do you celebrate slavery ending? If you want to move to a plantation that I own, I will give you free housing. I will give you clothing. I will give you limited employment, and you don't have to pay any bills, but you'll be a slave. And you would work when I ask you to work, and you don't have to worry about paying bills. And we basically have that now, minus the work requirement. That's why all these states, so that you can get free food and free housing vouchers. I don't care what kind of disabilities people are saying, they must be working or volunteering somewhere 20 to 40 hours a week. They have to do something. Allowing these people just to lay on their backs, give birth, and be paid is what has created this whole system of entitlements. It's going to have to end, because I'm going to tell you this. One day, someone like me is going to have a platform. I'm going to run. And when I win, it's going to be such a shock to the system, because there is no going back. That's why I make these videos, because hopefully they get to the right ears, and they help spark new ideas where people understand we don't have to live like this. We don't. We can do better. More debt. That's not true. Trump has our budget. No, Trump has brought our deficit down. The Berlin Wall didn't fall. It was the beginning of the push to where we are now. Yeah, absolutely. And maybe that wall should have stayed up. Maybe like I said, there should be people that live in certain places, that live certain lifestyles. If you're a communist who doesn't want to work, you should not be able to live next door to me, and I'm a person who works. You should have to live in your own separate places, and they should be designated as plantations where you don't have to pay bills, you don't have to pay rent, you don't have to pay for food, and we give you certain amounts of nourishment every single day, and you don't have to, but you can't have the luxury of living next door to me because of government subsidized housing. There needs to be designated areas for people who want to live in their communist enclaves, where only in these areas will you be able to get free food and free housing. Allowing them to choose wherever they want. That's what we call a luxury. And like any other luxury in life, they must be afforded. And if they can't afford it, they have to go live where we tell them to live, not where they want to live. And that's the problem. If you can't afford to live in New York where you need free food, why are you living in New York? Move somewhere cheaper. If you can't afford to live in LA because of high rent, move somewhere cheaper. Deciding that you get to stay and live where you want to live is a luxury that must be afforded. And if you can't afford it, you can't afford it, you need to move. I don't understand why that's so radical, or why that's such a strange suggestion. That's literally logical. We're going to bring back common sense. We're going to bring back logic, one way or the other. Do me a favor, like the channel, subscribe to the video. I have 5 other topics to go over tonight, so I'll be back shortly. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys in the comments. Remember, it's America first and America only.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.